Welcome. I had a great childhood, but sometimes maybe when you're a kid you don't understand things that your parents are doing, and they make sense later, but they don't make sense at the time. Well, my lovely father would take us to Detroit Tigers games or whatever it was, and we'd get there early and all that, and then by the third inning he'd be like, traffic is going to be pretty bad. We should probably get going. And we're like, it's the third inning. I think that's kind of stuck with me a little bit because I tend to focus on the destination more than how I'm getting there, which made me relate. I've been thinking about that lately, so it made me relate to this Alan Watts clip I'm about to drop on you. Now, it says in there that life is not the journey, but I think what it means is not that it's not the journey, but it's everything, that it's both. He gives the examples of, like, if you're so concerned with the end result, which we often are, why not just go to a symphony and they'll play the last chord and you can go home? Why not pay for a movie and you go in and they'll just play the final scene and then you can go home? I mean, that's kind of what we do in other aspects of our lives, but it wouldn't make sense in the examples that I just gave you. Related to that, I've been thinking about this as well. Let's say that you could go back in time, travel back 10 years ago, and you could talk with the 10-year younger version of yourself. So you go back in time 10 years ago, you're standing in front of yourself. What does that conversation look like? Are there going to be surprises? Is there going to be disappointment? Expectations? Will you be content? Maybe this is the question. What if you could go 10 years into the future, or the 10-year future version of yourself came back to right now, today? You turn around, it's you get over the initial excitement of, oh my God, I'm a time traveler, and it's just the two of you there having a conversation. What do you think the 10-year future version of yourself will tell you about where you're going? Put it below. Now, there's lots of Alan Watts clips to play, of course. I've played many before. I'll play many in the future. But this is the one I chose today. That's it. Enjoy it, my friends.
That existence, the physical universe, is basically playful. There is no necessity for it whatsoever. It isn't going anywhere. That is to say, it doesn't have some destination that it ought to arrive at. But that it is best understood by analogy with music. Because music, as an art form, is essentially playful. We say you play the piano. You don't work the piano. Why? Music differs from, say, travel. When you travel, you are trying to get somewhere. One doesn't make the end of a composition the point of the composition. If that were so, the best conductors would be those who played fastest. And there would be composers who wrote only finales. People go to a concert just to hear one crashing chord, because that's the end. Same way in dancing. You don't aim at a particular spot in the room. That's where you should arrive. The whole point of the dancing is the dance. Now, but we don't see that as something brought by our education into our everyday conduct. We've got a system of schooling which gives a completely different impression. It's all graded. And what we do is we put the child into the corridor of this grade system with a kind of, come on, kitty, kitty, kitty. And yeah, you go to kindergarten, and that's a great thing, because when you finish that, you'll get into first grade. And then, come on, first grade leads to second grade, and so on, and then you get out of grade school, and you go to high school, and it's revving up, the thing is coming. Then you're going to go to college, and by Jove, then you get into graduate school, and when you're through with graduate school, you go out to join the world. And then you get into some racket where you're selling insurance, and they've got that quota to make, and you're going to make that, and all the time, the thing is coming. It's coming, that great thing, the success you're working for. Then when you wake up one day about 40 years old, You say, my God, I've arrived. I'm there. And you don't feel very different from what you always felt. By expectation. Look at the people who live to retire and put those savings away. And then when they're 65, they don't have any energy left, they're more or less impotent, and they go and rot in an old people's, senior citizens community. Because we've simply cheated ourselves the whole way down the line. We thought of life by analogy with a journey, with a pilgrimage, which had a serious purpose at the end, and the thing was to get to that end, success or whatever it is, or maybe heaven after you're dead. But we missed the point the whole way along. It was a musical thing, and you were supposed to sing or to dance while the music was being played.